After a 5-year run of unmatched dominance, the Golden State Warriors were brought back down to earth thanks to injuries and forced roster changes. Their dynasty was abruptly ended in the blink of an eye, and the team was forced to return to the drawing board as new forces like the Los Angeles Lakers and the LA Clippers have overtaken them as the team to beat in the Western Conference. The Warriors are still in the playoff hunt this season, even though they're not nearly as dominant as they once were. But is it possible that Bob Myers and the front office are quietly building a new monster team? Today, we will take a look at how the Golden State Warriors are secretly creating another dynasty. But before we do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As important as the big three of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green has been to the Warriors' success this past decade, we should also give a lot of credit to Golden State's front office for how smartly they built the dynasty that eventually added an elite superstar scorer in Kevin Durant. Throughout the years, none of their successful teams featured any top role players. Other than Andre Iguodala and Harrison Barnes, who left in free agency in 2016 when the team signed KD, Golden State has always surrounded its stars with other cheap, yet well-fitting role players that were compatible with the team's system. Guys like Sean Livingston, JaVale McGee, and Jonas Jerebko, these were the types of players that the Warriors front office surrounded their stars with. Backcourt playmakers, rim-protecting lob threats, and spot-up shooters. The core three, which became a core four with the arrival of Kevin Durant, was so good that the team didn't need any amazing role players. The only amazing role player that was key to the dynasty and the Warriors' infamous death lineup was Andre Iguodala. But fast forward 2 seasons since their last finals appearance, and you can see the results of the Warriors opting for so many one-year cheap rentals instead of developing more quality role players throughout the years. The unfortunate Achilles tear injury on Klay Thompson exposed the flaws of the current Warriors roster, as the team is spending most of their salary cap cash on the max and supermax contracts of Curry, Thompson, and Green. And on top of that, they've been forced to go deep into the luxury tax to give their only 2 healthy stars a relatively decent supporting cast that can at least hold the ship steady while Thompson gets ready to return to action at the beginning of the 2021-22 campaign. Make no mistake, the Warriors are a decent team showing flashes of how good they can be, especially when Stephen Curry is having a great night, but still, the Golden State Warriors are very inconsistent. Golden State is looking as vulnerable as ever, and with these types of results, one has to wonder whether this team is good enough to compete in the West even once Klay Thompson returns fully healthy. But what if we told you the Warriors were secretly playing possum and building another powerful dynasty on the low? For starters, they have James Wiseman, who is one of the most promising big men in the entire NBA. His rookie season has been filled with ups and downs, but the Warriors have shown willingness to be patient with him. He has been really good in stretches, and overall his stats reflect a lot of promise for the future. So far this season, he's averaging 12.2 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks, on 50.3% shooting from the field and 40.9% shooting from 3 while playing only 21 minutes a night. There are a few things the basic box score stats won't show, though. They won't show that Wiseman has been one of the best inside scorers in the league. Per Cleaning the Glass, he's shooting 75% at the rim, which is top 10 in the entire league among qualified players with at least 300 minutes and 50 rim attempts. Wiseman doesn't have the volume other similarly efficient paint scorers like Giannis Antetokounmpo or Anthony Davis have yet, but he has been accurate in his spots. He is also shooting 41% from three-point land. He's only averaging 1.1 long-range attempts per game, so it's not like he's making multiple threes every game, but it's encouraging to see him once again being accurate in his spots. His three-point shooting will be one of the key aspects to monitor moving forward in his career, as if he can shoot the three ball at a similar clip on higher volume, he's going to be a very complete, floor-stretching scorer for the Dubs. One last note on him. He's been an excellent rim protector numbers-wise. His 3% block percentage is top 15 in the NBA. This means he's blocking 3% of the opponent's shots while he's on the court, and he's also averaging 2.2 blocks per 36 minutes. A big reason why Wiseman has been limited to only 21 minutes per game is how ridiculously foul-prone he's been, as he has averaged 3.2 fouls per game in very limited action. That and how high his turnover numbers have been are the two biggest areas of improvement for him, but luckily Wiseman has the perfect mentor in Draymond Green to learn from. Now, even though both Andrew Wiggins and Kelly Oubre Jr. have been in the NBA for more than half a decade, they're still only 25 years old and about to enter their primes. Remember when we said the Warriors never had any elite role players? Well, that's what these two are at the bare minimum, and they still have a chance to become late-blooming stars. Wiggins' arrival to the Bay Area has been a breath of fresh air. Even though his box score numbers suggest a regression, Wiggins has instead taken a huge step forward. He's gone from being an empty, inefficient volume scorer in Minnesota to an efficient scoring threat that complements Golden State's stars. He no longer has that first overall pick burden on him and doesn't have the pressure to be a star. Taking a step back has really helped him, and it's something that gives him enough breathing room to gain momentum and return to the star path he was previously in. And after having one of the most horrific starts to a season in a very, very long time, Kelly Oubre has finally bounced back and is playing at the level the Warriors front office expected him to when they decided to go tens of millions of dollars into the luxury tax and traded for him. Over his last 10 games, Oubre is averaging 21.2 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 1.4 steals on 48.8% shooting from the field and a previously unimaginable 47% from behind the three-point arc. This is the Kelly Oubre that Bob Myers and the front office envisioned fitting in so well alongside Steph Curry and Draymond Green. Oubre has a long 6'7" frame with an outstanding 7'3" wingspan, which gives him the perfect tools to become the team's next defensive stopper a la Andre Iguodala. He's well on his way, and all he needs to do in the offensive end is be a serviceable three-point shooter. That gives Curry and Draymond enough space to operate and feed him the ball when the opponents focus heavily on them. Golden State is also making up for their lack of role players developed during their previous dynasty by investing in youngsters such as Damian Lee, Jordan Poole, Eric Paschall, Michael Mulder, Marquise Chris, and Nico Mannion. As long as they can turn two of these into quality, consistent role players, the Warriors will have a decent enough bench unit. For the next couple of years, the Warriors could build upon a young trio of Wiseman, Wiggins, and Oubre while still retaining the services of their old big three in Curry, Thompson, and Green. Their archetypes of play are ones that should age really well in the NBA, as Curry and Thompson are unlikely to become bad enough shooters to become unplayable as they get older, and Draymond's IQ and leadership alone make him a very valuable addition to the roster. This could lead to the Warriors becoming a very dangerous force in the West for years to come, and perhaps to them building another dynasty. And what makes them more dangerous is that nobody even realizes that they're actually building one. Can the Warriors create another dynasty? Do you think that Golden State can win another championship before their big three retires? Let us know in the comments down below, and once again, make sure to leave a like on this video and hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching another Swish Central video, and join us next time for more NBA basketball content.